Hello. It looks like this thing's recording. This is Jack. With my weight loss, my health, my fasting, my updates on all that stuff, basically. So anyway, I just completed my third dry fast. I've done two before that in August. I think I started August 8th. I was 335 pounds on August 8th, I believe it was, and I had done a 3-day dry fast, and I'd done a week after that, I'd done a 4-day dry fast, and I just completed a 5-day dry fast. So I'm kind of bumping it up as far as the amount of time that I'm doing it. I'm not looking to go crazy overboard with the dry fasting because I understand it can be a little dangerous, obviously. I mean, it's still different. It's my third one, and I'm pushing it a little bit more each time. But honestly, this third time, I've seen people online that claim to have done 15 of the 20 days. That's beyond anything that I need to do. I don't think that's necessary for me, at least at this point. Who knows? Things might change, and I might push the envelope. But I'm not. That's not where I'm at now, and that's not where I'm going to be at in the near future. It's not my plans for future fasting and continuing this weight loss. I started with the weight loss this time. I mean, roughly, it's been going on for my entire life. But I had bariatric surgery about 3 years ago. I had a gastric gastric. I got the gastric sleeve, but I had the lap band. I had a lap band. That did not work for me, and if you look it up, it did not work for a lot of people. I really didn't have the self-discipline. Paper just flew because the window's open. There's nice cool air coming in the house. It's a really beautiful day out today. But anyway, as I go off down my little rabbit trails as I talk. But my highest weight was 455 pounds, and I was that probably, I don't know, about 3 years ago, because I had the lap band removed, and thank God for that, because that thing was food was just sticking, and that was not a pleasant experience at all. So anyway, I got that removed, and so I had the gastric sleeve done. That's what it was, gastric sleeve. I'm trying to remember what happened, and that worked up into about. So I was about 455 or about somewhere around there when I had the gastric sleeve done, and then I got down to like about 370, roughly somewhere around there. But I kept bouncing up and down with the weight, and I was back up to about 393. In January of this year. Right now we're at now we're at September 2nd. We're not at August anymore. Pay attention to where you are and what date it is. We're in September already, September 2nd. Nevertheless, January 3rd of this year, 2019, I weighed 393 pounds, and I started doing keto. I started the keto diet, had some very severe reactions to the keto flu, but I just kept pushing through. Thank God I did, because I really like eating the keto lifestyle. I like the meats. I've always been a meat eater. I'm a carnivore at heart, basically. I can't see myself ever living without pork, quite frankly. And I'm eating a lot of good when I do eat, which has been very rare lately. I do like to eat good, organic, grass-fed stuff because, for one thing, I'm not eating that much. So when I do eat, I like to eat pretty much the best that I can get my hands on. And I'm not that worried about the cost because I'm saving money from not eating, quite frankly. So when I do get something, I can really purchase something of quality and really enjoy it too. And it's much better for us, much better for me. So anyway, so I started, like I said, in January, and for about 7 months or so, keto worked very well. I went from about 393 down to about 335 doing keto and doing some intermittent fasting because I'm not a breakfast eater anyway. I usually don't eat until at least 11:30, 12 o'clock, like at the earliest most days. I mean, I will eat breakfast from time to time, I'm trying to be intuitive. I'm trying to do this whole thing that you see people with the weight loss movements today, where it's like you need to listen to your body. Let your body tell you when you're hungry, and if you do listen to your body, it will tell you, and it will also tell you what it's hungry for too. By the way, but you have to be careful. And I found that kind of the hard way, and I'll get to that in a moment. So I had stalled out at about 335, just doing the keto and doing some omad, and it just the weight just wasn't budging to my taste. So I started researching more about fasting, and I was going to do water fasting, and of course, looking at videos online, you're inevitably, if you look into fasting or water fasting, you're going to run into the snake diet and Cole Robinson. And I think the dude is hilarious. I think he's funny as hell. But he's spot on with what he talks about, and his recommendations are very, very, very sound recommendations. They're not conventional weight loss recommendations, but so what? If the recommendations work, which they do, by the way, and we get healthier following these recommendations, and it's astounding. I went to church yesterday, and I ran into a couple that I hadn't seen in quite a few months, and they were astounded at the weight loss. And they're like, well, how are you doing this? How are you losing the weight? Are you starving yourself? And I'm like, well, not exactly, but it's going to sound like that if I tell you what I'm doing. So I started the dry fast, the first phase on, like I said, August 8th. Second phase a week later. I did a four-day dry fast, and then this week I just finished the 5-day dry fast, and I'm going to change up how I come out of the fast. I'm just doing liquids. I'm just doing water. I'm just doing snake juice. I'm just doing some coffee. I know that's entirely against Cole Robinson's gig and stuff. And I'm putting some MCT oil with the coffee to give my body some oil, give it some calories. I'm using the baking soda with mineral water right now. I had a thing of coconut water earlier to break the fast. I feel good. I feel great. This third round of fasting, I felt better. It was easier to do, honestly, than the other ones. There's still that mental, psychological battle that goes on where it's like, well, I was taking care of my 3 kids for the entire week, and I've fasted throughout most of that time. I haven't had anything to eat since last Tuesday, and it's Monday now. So, and I'm not hungry. I mean, I could eat something, but I'm fine. I finally got I got fluids in me now. And I weighed in this morning. Like I said, I started off this whole big thing of fasting on August 8th, and now it's September 2nd. Started off at 335 this morning before I started drinking anything, because when you drink, you're going to put on some more pounds because your body's taking on the fluid. It's not fat, obviously. It's just fluid. Excuse me. So this morning I weighed 304 pounds. So I've lost 31 pounds in less than a month, which I'm very, very pleased with, which I plan on continuing with. Part of my plans with this fast is to do about 2 to 3 days roughly of just liquids. I'm going down to Baltimore to hang out with some friends and stuff. I think I'm going to an Orioles game, I think, on Thursday night. I'm hanging out with some other friends on Friday night. I'm doing this. I'm going to be hanging out and probably playing some music a little bit anyway at this high school reunion thing. It's going on Saturday outdoors. It's a bunch of people that go to this thing. It's not just from one year. It's from a whole bunch of years from the high school that I graduated from. And I'm really looking forward to seeing a bunch of people I literally haven't seen for years and years and years, probably 30 to 40 years kind of a thing. Because I'm 62 now, so it's been a long time since I was a high school student. So I'm gonna indulge in some good Baltimore seafood. That's what I'm so looking forward to. The first thing I plan on eating as far as food goes, I'm going to probably do some soft foods maybe Thursday morning, like maybe just some yogurt or something like that, to help kind of prepare myself for real food. But the water and the fluids that I'm going to be doing is going to help prepare me for the refeed. And so the first thing I'm looking forward to is crab imperial. It's a delicious crab dish. I'm going to eat a lot of crabs. I might even, if somebody's down for it, I'll go out and I'll buy the dang steamed crabs. They're expensive as heck, but like I said, I've been saving money from not eating, so when I eat, I'm going to eat good. And down in Baltimore, I grew up on steamed crabs. I love steamed crabs, and you really can't get them anywhere else the way they do them down there, at least as far as I'm aware of. So I'm looking forward to eating some crabs, maybe some crab cakes, who knows, whatever else, But I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to lose my mind overeating. I'm not going to go too far off the keto path, if I do even go off of it at all. I'm trying to live life moment by moment, day by day. I make my plans. I save money. I take care of my kids. I take care of myself with the fasting and everything, and the losing weight and all. And life is good. Life is good with the challenges and the difficulties that are taking place, and they always are. But I'm working through it. And so that's my keto update. That's my weight loss update, my fasting and my dry fasting update, which still blows my mind. But these results are phenomenal. I had, between the second and this third round, I had gained a lot of weight back. And I don't think I ate that much food. So I'm going to be very, very, very careful with this refeed. I don't want to gain nowhere nearly that much weight back, because it's like defeating the purpose, I guess. But I can sense my body's getting healthier, not just from the weight loss, but from the dry fasting itself. Because past 3 days, you're really deeper into autophagy, and you're deeper into that process of fasting. And from what I understand, from what I've read about, and kind of what I'm sensing, it really begins to do a lot of deep healing on a lot of different levels. So it's pretty profound stuff. I tell people that I talk to about it, and they look at me like the guy at church yesterday that I mentioned earlier, and he was just, his eyes are just like big as I'm telling him about this, and I'm like, I'm on my 5th day. I'm on my 5th day of dry fasting, and I'm not dying. I'm not dead yet, and I'm getting healthier. I'm being very careful with how I do this, but people are, when I first heard of it, I thought, that's insane. Not drinking water for more than 3 days. I believed what they taught me to, and hopefully some of us have learned not to believe everything they tell us, that we need to look into it ourselves and do some research and find out some truth. And I think there's a lot to be said that we haven't heard much about this because, well, the food companies and the medical field won't make as much money. Pharmaceuticals won't make as much money off of people fasting. And with people fasting and dry fasting and getting and healing themselves of stuff, I've heard of miraculous claims. I can't say I really know for certain that they've really occurred. I've seen pictures, but anybody can post pictures on Facebook or whatever. Does that make it true? Not necessarily, but it could well be. It's like when I did my first 3-day dry fast, I remember like thinking, I think I found the fountain of youth. Kind of a feeling. And it feels really good to challenge yourself, to push yourself beyond previously thought limits that you thought you had. And it opens up these other doors, at least mentally, like, I could probably pretty much do whatever I want to do in life. I can probably make not as much money as I want to make, but probably do pretty well financially too. And I'm doing okay financially. I'm not complaining about that, and no real concerns in that area. But I think the sky's basically like the limit in life for all of us, not just for me. I think that's for all of us. There's probably a lot more that meets the eye with people, and I will get into that in some future videos. But nevertheless, this is Jack, and I'm going to sign off now because I can go down some other old rabbit trail, but that's just another time for another video. So have a great day. Take care of yourself. Not just your physical health, but your mental health as well, because that's just as important. Probably more important, quite frankly, because you got to be mentally prepared to do these fasts. Because it's psychologically, it can be a little taxing, and it can kick up some emotional issues and stuff. You know, there's some people that report, and I can report getting some emotional stuff kicked up, but work through, honestly, and coming to some sort of like closure, getting a little deeper with that stuff, quite frankly, and that's always a good feeling too. So it's good to be alive. Have a great day, man.